episode did not go as well as I planned it to, but we are only adding 5 cards into the collection for today. But I do think that these 5 cards are going to be pretty high impact for what they provide and allow us to actually combo off a little bit more consistently. So the first 2 cards are one-ofs in Deep Sea Aristan and Yamarako Orochi. This card is a really good summon off of Diva because when it's summoned, you mill the top card of your deck to the grave, but then it can Monster Reborn a level 4 or lower water monster in your graveyard. It negates its effects, but just being able to get the extra body on field is really nice if we can extend without using our normal. Yamaracho Orochi is a really good summon off of Hulk because it's a level 1 tuner, but it can also be treated as a level 8 tuner. Which is really good for going into high synchro plays with low investment. The last card that I am adding is 3 copies of Swap Frog. This card is absolutely amazing for the deck. It does everything. It allows us to efficiently combo off. It is an extender. It really just does everything, and it turns our whole Frog engine that we got in the structure deck online, which means we can actually play a much more efficient deck and actually include the Frog engine in our deck. So with these 3, I really do think the deck's going to go through a little bit of a change, but it's going to be a fairly big change in terms of impact. I'll also show a combo that the deck can do now that we have Swap Frog. So I'll show you now the deck edit. So what we're taking out of the deck is these cards at the bottom, and we're putting these cards at the top into the deck. Simple reason is these cards at the top allow us to combo off way more consistently than the cards at the bottom, which can typically brick our hands more often and don't typically act as better normal summons like Swap Frog and Dupe Frog and extenders like Ronan Toadin. I'm also putting in another Revealer because it makes the ice barriers way more consistent alongside Salvage and Surface. To recycle Swap Frog and also gain more bodies on field. And that is all the changes for the main deck, because we are changing nothing for the extra deck, because we don't have any extra deck cards to put into the extra deck. So that'll be it for deck changes.
I just wanted to show a quick profile of the deck right here, just to show, because I did make a few side deck changes, just to better prepare us for back row decks by adding 3 copies of Median of the Ice Barrier and a 3rd Revealer into the side deck alongside the other main deck changes. But everything is the exact same in the extra deck, so let's just get onto the games. Duel number 1 begins, and we open a very good hand. We start by activating Medallion, grabbing another Revealer, we discard Revealer, specialing Swap Frog, and our opponent instantly scoops. Game 2 is a lot longer than Game 1. We start from our opponent's perspective, and they activate a Foolish Burial. I quickly change it back to the other way. They grab a Rite of Aramesir. They normal a Luba, grabbing and activating Branded Fusion, making Lubellion the Searing Dragon, and then using the effect of Despian Comedy, tributing it, fusing into Mirror Jade, banishing a Luba to set a Branded in red, and passing turn. We grab our Gaga Gigo, which is not very useful right now. We add Revealer, we normal Revealer, discard. We special from hand, we make Trishula 0. We use its effect to banish near the entire field. They activate their effect. We attack during the end phase. Their effect resolves, destroying the entire field, and then Trishula is summoned with bonus attack. They then go through basic adventure lines and activate Tragedy, adding a Luba. They special Griffin. They use Fateful Adventure to add a Draco back, equipping Draco back, using Draco back to bounce Trishula back to extra deck. They go battle, hit us for 4k. Then during our turn, we top deck a Tengi Spirit Shathana. We special it. We special our Moonland Glacier, which gets negated. We normal Diva, and they have an Effect Veiler. If they didn't have the Effect Veiler here, we would have been able to make much more synchro plays and actually do stuff and probably win the game. So that effect veiler unfortunately loses the game here. As you can see, they go back into their turn. They add back Branded Fusion by setting it. They activate Branded Fusion. They make Albion the Branded Dragon. They make a Mirror Jade. They add and discard a Water Enchantress. They activate Rite of Amrasir. They gain back a token. They use Draco Pack, bouncing it back to extra, and go battle phase for game. So unfortunately, we lose that one. For our final game, we're against another branded Despia player. However, they are just purely using the structure deck, so I think they're only on branded. We open a very good hand going first, but we're going second in this case, which does make it quite awkward. They use Lubellion, making Mirror Jade. They summon Kit, and set a counter trap and pass. We start with a medallion, adding a medium, specialing medium, then using medallion to add a speaker for the ice barrier. We special swap frog. We attempt to summon Ronin Toadin. They negate that. We normal Diva summon a Hexa from deck. We make Trish Zero. They chain Mirror Jade, banishing the Trish Zero, but then we banish their entire field. They Mirror Jade to blow up our field during the end phase. Now, I don't really know what to do at this point because there's no real kind of protected boss monster that we have specifically. So I just decided to go for a tiny bit of damage. During the end phase, they special summon a Spriggan's Kit from the deck. They activate the effect and then shuffle back the Branded Fusion. They grab Mercuria. They use their counter traps effect Engrave, adding back Branded Fusion, fusing into a Albion the Branded Dragon, and fusing into a Lubellion, making Titanic Lad, and that's enough to go for game. Overall, we won one match and lost the other two matches, which is kind of unfortunate. We did do better than last episode, but I really feel like we probably should have tried some other things out when playing. We really don't have a good boss to go into. Most of our cards are made to go second, and the deck's kind of in a weird limbo state where it's going first, which is kind of awkward. So I probably will have to adjust the deck to go second until we get something like Totally Awesome, which would allow us to actually go first. So I have stuff planned for the next episode in order to improve the deck. However, we're probably going to have to make a small going second build and then adjust to a going first build once we get Toad. Because Toad would have been amazing for us in basically every duel today. It would have allowed us to end on a natural body on field, it would have allowed us to have a negate and actually provide interaction for our opponent. We still have a negative win-loss record in terms of matches. I would like to turn that around, so I'll be aiming to do that in the next episode.